Instagram.
Hello, it's great to see everyone. Welcome to Marine Virtual Video Chat Marine Biology Camp. I'm Dr. Erin Ash and this is Dr. Rob Williams. We are both marine biologists, scientists from Oceans Initiative, which is a research nonprofit. We study whales and dolphins and other marine life to inform conservation and protection of the ocean. I'm getting lost in my thoughts.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have a sip of coffee. This is going to help.
Yeah, we're a team of scientists on a mission to protect marine wildlife. And we're so happy to have you join us.
And we are, again, if this is your first time, welcome. We are also parents to Clara, who's in the other room, and she's going to join us in a little bit to say hello. And so during these strong germ days, while people are keeping healthy and staying home, we thought we would talk about whales and dolphins. And again, we're not teachers, we're scientists, but we thought it would be fun to learn about the ocean together. And we cannot thank you enough for all of your incredible support and questions and drawings. It's helped keep us happy and inspired during this time, which is a little challenging for many people and families. So we really want to thank you because this has been such fun getting to know all of you and
from Alert Bay.
Yay!
Hi, Anne from Alert Bay. That's our home. That's where we study whales and dolphins.
Right up here.
It's a little island right there.
It's kind of the heart of where the dolphin.
That's the
project.
home of the killer whale.
It is the home. Alert Bay is officially the home of the killer whale.
We're so happy that you're there and hope that everyone in Alert Bay is staying safe and healthy.
And we hope to come up there at some point.
Oh, and Jane is on, Connor's mom.
Oh, hello, Jane.
Mother of Connor the dolphin. A very special friend of our family.
And today we are going to be talking about dolphins. We're going to be talking about dolphins, like sort of big picture.
The whole family.
Then I think it's a week and a bit. 2 sessions from now, we'll focus specifically on Pacific white-sided dolphins, which was the focus of my PhD work and the focus of a long-term study we have with colleagues in near Alert Bay here in British Columbia. So that will be 2 sessions from now. Next time we're going to talk about ocean noise. Then we will have Sophia Trin join us you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yep. Yep. Perfect. Before I get to Sophia,
okay.
We have a big favor to ask. A number of people try to send us private messages or emails saying, I can't connect on Facebook or I can't connect on Instagram. We obviously can't check those messages. I'm seeing some comments on the screen saying the link is not live on Facebook. If you see anyone leaving comments on our Facebook page, on the event or on the post, if you see comments on the Instagram page and people are struggling to connect, if you wouldn't mind, we'd really appreciate it if you would just kind of walk people through how you connected, how you have to like and follow the page, and you should see the live icon in the newsfeed, and then you click on the live button. Gosh, there are hundreds of you on this event, so hundreds of you have figured it out. If you could share your wisdom with families who are kind of struggling at home, I'd be so grateful because we're still figuring this stuff out ourselves. So,
thank you.
Erin's going to go and get Clara. I'm going to ask you what you're all having for 11s, because that's the theme here. Around here, we meet at 11 o'clock to talk science and cool animals in the ocean, and we eat yummy things. Here we're having old-fashioned coconut macaroons. Not the fancy macaron, but just, old school macaroons with almond flour and some coconut. And some coffee. And today it's fizzy water day. So I want to know what you guys are having for your 11s.
Hi, happy International Unicorn Day.
What? Today's Dolphin Day, isn't it? Come here. Tell me what you...
International Unicorn Day.
Come here.
Okay, so maybe we should have been talking about narwhals.
I did not know that today is International Unicorn Day. What are you wearing in honor of unicorn? I don't think anyone can see that. Here.
So here's Clara is wearing a unicorn dress in honor of International Unicorn Day.
Cool.
And I think, this is a personal biased opinion, but I think that dolphins are as cool as unicorns and sometimes just as magical.
Yes.
Again, the Pacific white-sided dolphin is the one that I've spent a lot of time with. We all have. And a person, their company goes by the name of Fog and Swell. They're up in Canada as well. They make these awesome dolphins.
Aren't they in Tofino?
I think so.
Cool.
Anyway.
Nice segue though, because unicorns, the myth of the unicorn actually came from the narwhal. Some of the traders in the Arctic brought home a narwhal tusk. And that led to some legends that there's such a thing as a unicorn. And some wonderful mythology
We don't know.
emerged from that. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland, which is where we both study and which is where we learned about 11s. That and Paddington Bear taught us about 11s. Narwhals, one of the questions was, are narwhals dolphins? They are not. They're in the order of toothed whales along with all the dolphins.
So they're related.
But Jan, I'm going to get to you.
About.
Okay, so
we need some clarity.
So
Rochelle Connell's watching.
narwhals and
Rochelle.
belugas are in a family called Monodontidae, and so
What does that mean?
I think it's single-toothed.
Yeah.
So the
Getting our
belugas
Latin
and the
lesson.
narwhals are in a family of their own, and all the rest of the dolphins are in the dolphin family. So what we're talking about are plain, old-fashioned, simple, your basic dolphin. And someone was asking, I think it was Jen or Jan, it went by so quickly. So is it Dolphin Day or is it Unicorn Day?
Good question.
It's a great question.
Well, in our family, every day is dolphin.
Every day is Dolphin Day in our family. And at Oceans Initiative,
But-
in our marine biology camp, today we're going to be talking about dolphins.
Yes.
But in the rest of the world,
Many
people are
people.
celebrating National Unicorn Day. So Clara decided to wear her unicorn dress
Yeah.
with the matching doll dress in honor of Unicorn Day. So we've
Yeah.
had macaroons for 11s. People are having pasta. People are having ramen.
Sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Noah, I know that you guys do ocean work, but have you ever worked with river dolphins?
Oh, good question.
Good question. There is a subset of the dolphins. All the dolphins evolved in the ocean, but then some of them return to the river, and they now live year-round
freshwater.
in freshwater in the river. And so
Yeah.
that's why some of our colleagues don't use the term marine mammals to talk about whales and dolphins and porpoises.
Good point.
They use the term aquatic mammals because it also includes the river dolphins, which don't just go up the river once. They spend their whole lives in the river dolphins, in the rivers. I've been very lucky to work with good friends in Colombia and Peru on the pink and the gray river dolphins. One of the big threats there is that people are hunting them illegally and then using them for bait in a catfish fishery. So I worked with statisticians, mathematicians at the University of St. Andrews and in the United States, and biologists from Colombia and Peru, and we did a whole bunch of studies and found that the pink river dolphin population is crashing, but the gray river dolphin is healthy. So that's a great question.
And some of the other river dolphin species are, the dams and rivers are a big factor for their survival in other
Yeah.
parts of the world.
In fact, one went extinct, the Baiji
the Baiji,
in the Yangtze River dolphin.
how long ago was it? 10 years ago?
10, 15
Something
years
like
ago,
that?
they were declared extinct.
So they're very special, they're very precious, and we should do what we can to protect them. And was a fantastic question.
So we're going to have 2 pages of questions. Before I forget, Erin asked me to remind people.
I don't remember.
Today's Thursday. A week from today,
Yes.
Thursday the 15th, 16th,
I can't see from over there. Yeah.
Thursday is the
Anyway,
16th.
The 16th.
A week from today, we are going to be joined by a very special guest, Sophia Trin, who is a Seattle-based artist. She has agreed to teach a class for free to all of you to learn how to paint a killer whale or an orca. So that gives you a week, this time, this place, 1 week from now. Please have your watercolor paints, some good watercolor paper. Any old paper will do.
Or if you don't, that's okay too.
Any old paper will
Yeah.
do.
Whatever you have around the house.
Paintbrushes.
Cardboard would probably work.
And an old rag. And Sophia Trin
Pencils.
will teach us all, including us. We're going to learn too.
Yes, I'm excited.
And she will teach us how to do a watercolor painting of an orca. Between now and then, though, please go to our website because Sophia has also volunteered, generously donated an original watercolor painting of her own of a right whale, the critically endangered North Atlantic right whale that we study on the East Coast, where there are only 400 of them left, and they're affected by ocean noise and ship strikes and entanglement in fishing gear. If you go to our website, our most recent blog will include an opportunity for you to make a donation to Oceans Initiative. Follow the links. Well, grown-ups should follow the links. Make a tax-deductible donation in Canada or the US. And Sophia will choose one of the donors to receive an original watercolor painting in the mail. Very generous of her. She's a wonderful artist. And you should check out, we'll make sure to tag her.
Yeah.
Check out her page anyway because she has great stickers and original prints and all sorts of great
All right,
things.
we should get down to dolphins.
Get to dolphins. Do you want to ask or answer? You're the dolphin expert.
Well, I
Dr.
think we
Aaron
should.
Ash
No, we
is
should go
the
back and forth
dolphin expert.
because,
Okay.
yeah.
Logan, who's 7, in Des Moines, Washington, wants to know, are dolphins whales?
Good question. You answer that first one, and I'll answer that
Okay.
second one. That
Okay.
Logan asked.
They all belong to the same family or order of cetaceans, the whales and the dolphins and the porpoises. There is some subjectivity. I mean, within that, there are the toothed whales, and some of the toothed whales are dolphins, but there are some, like narwhal and beluga and sperm whales, that have teeth, but they are definitely not dolphins, right? At some point, a dolphin becomes big enough that you call it a whale, like
a killer whale.
like a killer whale, or a false killer whale.
Yeah.
And so I think of it kind of like the difference. There is a point at which a boat becomes big enough that you just call it a ship. So all ships are boats, but not all boats are ships. Does that make sense? And then someone had a related question, which is, how do you tell the difference between a dolphin and a porpoise?
Wait,
That was Cora, who's
13
from Canmore, Alberta.
Nice. Good. That's a very common question, particularly in our part of the world in the Pacific, because we have harbor porpoise, we have Dall's porpoise, and we have many different kinds of dolphins. So it can be confusing.
Yeah.
For sure. Again, one of those telltale signs is the size. Their porpoise are smaller.
Generally,
Generally. And their teeth are different.
Yeah. Can't really see that here, and you can't really see it unless you see them on the beach.
Unless they're smiling.
But dolphins have teeth that are shaped like an ice cream cone, whereas porpoise have a tooth that's kind of flat, kind of like our front tooth. But it's shaped a little bit more like a peg. If you look at this bottlenose dolphin, it has a hooked dorsal fin. The term we use is falcate. It's curved. Generally, porpoises have a more triangular dorsal fin, and there are some differences in their skull structure.
And probably related to that skull structure is that their acoustics are quite different. The sounds that they make are much higher frequency, above human hearing, and so that's a distinguishing feature. However, we're learning more every day about who fits into the porpoise category and who fits into the dolphin category. So it's that's a little area for discovery.
Cool.
Continues to be.
Cool. So that's the main difference between dolphins and porpoises.
And Logan, who's 7, also was wondering about the Puget Sound region near Seattle. What type of dolphins live here?
Yeah.
I thought I'd touch on that just because we know that we have Dall's porpoise that live here, look like this.
Sometimes
often
people-
confused for baby killer whales, but they're not.
Exactly what I was going to say. They're porpoise.
So in Puget Sound, we have the Pacific white-sided dolphin occasionally visits here, like all the way into the Sound, or in Harrow Strait.
And that's the dorsal fin we're talking about.
There is a clever group of bottlenose dolphins that are actually from California. There was photo identification of these dolphins from the early mid-'80s who have decided to live here in Seattle. They moved to Seattle. We're not sure why. So it's more of an unusual occurrence, but they are still here. And we occasionally get common dolphins, which is very rare to see in inshore waters. They are usually offshore. But on the coast of Washington, we have...
Out here,
There are
all the way up here.
lots of different kinds of dolphins. The northern right whale dolphin,
Lots of Pacific white-sided dolphins.
Rizzo's dolphins, which are so neat. And I should say, someone asked on the comments, and I'm sorry I missed your name, do different kinds of dolphins swim together? And they do. Particularly, I guess, from my experience, our experience with Pacific white-sided dolphins, they swim with the northern right whale dolphin, which are these beautiful dolphins.
And like a narwhal, they do not
They
have
do
a
not
dorsal
have
fin.
a dorsal fin, and they'll swim with these. I'm blanking out. Grampus, the Rhesus dolphins.
Yep.
So they do, and in fact, the Pacific white-sided dolphins will often swim with the fish-eating killer whales.
It's the strangest thing. Do we have Clara's stuffy?
I
Killer
don't
whale
think we
stuffy?
do. Oh, it's over here. I can get
Okay.
it.
Yeah, because that was a great question that, let's see. Who was it? Kelsey, who's 9, from Larchmont, New York, was asking what would happen if an orca and a dolphin pod met.
Oh.
Well, if you've been in the first couple of sessions, you'd know that we have 2 different kinds,
At least more,
um,
but
in British Columbia and Washington State, 2 different kinds of orcas or killer whales. The one that eats salmon is called the resident fish-eating type. The one that eats marine mammals is bigs or transient killer whales. And what Aaron was saying is that occasionally we'll see Pacific white-sided dolphins, actually this is a Pacific white-sided dolphin, swimming with the fish-eating northern resident killer whales. And they're kind of like
you become like a puppeteer, Rob.
I could
This
be a
is-
puppeteer. They're kind of like annoying little brothers or sisters, and they seem to be doing a lot of this. They can tell the resident fish-eating ones apart from the mammal-eating ones because they make different sounds. So they can hear them, and if these ones are singing and making sounds like the fish eaters, the dolphins know that it's safe to be close to these ones. And in fact, Aaron's theory is that they're using that experience to practice, learn about their predator and learn how big is an orca,
How do they
how
move?
fast are they,
Yeah.
how do they catch predators or prey, and how do they avoid. How
How
can
close can they get to shore with those large bodies?
Yep.
It may give them some clues about killer whales more generally and how to avoid them if
Right.
the killer whales choose to try and eat a dolphin.
But if the dolphins encounter the mammal-eating killer whales do eat Pacific white-sided dolphins. And if you go to our YouTube video, you can see maybe not age-appropriate,
Depends on your
older
child.
ages maybe, but you can check out a video that Erin shot on her first day of her PhD. It's pretty
A long time
amazing.
ago.
That's
Okay.
youtube.com/Oceans Initiative. And yeah, check it out. Great question. So we've answered Cora's questions. Jake, who's 9, and Grace, who's 5, in Billings, Montana, want to know, are dolphins pretty smart,
Yes.
like Flipper?
Yes.
And Quinn, who's 10, and Zane, who's 9, and they're in Maryland, they want to know what's the average dolphin IQ and how smart is the average dolphin compared to people?
So yeah, this
Related
is kind
questions.
of a theme that's really neat with dolphins and their intelligence and their communication, in particular, human dolphin communication. So, are they smart? They are. They are very smart. The complexity of their brain is like a great ape, like a gorilla or an orangutan or a chimpanzee. So that tells us something about their ability to learn. And in the 1960s, there were a lot of research projects on captive dolphins to learn more about their cognition. And in fact, I don't know if anyone remembers Gilligan's Island, but there was a research lab not literally Gilligan's Island, but it was in the beginning film of Gilligan's Island and the introduction, and they carried out a number of projects with a few captive dolphins there, where they sort of translated the dolphins' whistles into vowel sounds, where the trainers were essentially able to instruct dolphins to carry out simple instructions.
I think getting at the main question, though, is a killer whale or is a dolphin as smart as a human? I personally believe that we're not very good at measuring intelligence in humans. The IQ test itself isn't a perfect measure of intelligence, because it tends to be biased towards people who speak English as a first language and have been exposed to lots and lots of words in their home. So there's some innate intelligence that we're not very good at measuring, but there are some indicators of intelligence, and dolphins have bigger brains than you would expect of an animal of that size. So we think that means something, and we've certainly seen them adapt in very, very clever ways to catch prey.
And they have something similar to our prefrontal cortex, and we think that is not, I have not studied dolphin neuroscience, but colleagues, this is a great book, by the way, called Deep Thinkers. It's edited by Professor Janet Mann at Georgetown University, but it has articles by a number of our amazing colleagues on sperm whales and dolphins. And yeah, so anyway, the prefrontal cortex-like structure in dolphins seems to be really developed for sociality, to be social, to connect with other dolphins, and they rely on that to coordinate their movements and share information about prey and predators. So they have sort of a different, they live in a different world. They live in a world that is driven by sound more so than sight.
Yep. And
so they have different brain structures that are developed in different ways.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's come back to the sound stuff.
Okay.
Athena, who's 15 and from Greece, wants to know, what is a dorsal fin? And that's this fin on the top of the back of the dolphin.
Yeah.
So when the dolphin surfaces to breathe, remember, its nostrils have moved to the top of its head, so it surfaces, breathes out through the blowhole, and inhales through the blowhole, all within a microsecond. And then you see the dorsal fin. The dorsal fin provides stability so that they can swim, but it also is a pretty effective way for them to lose heat. Mm-hmm. They can direct blood to the fin. So in a lot, it's kind of the same way that a dog pants on a hot day. They lose the heat through the tongue. Dolphins can lose, imagine like going out on a hot day in a fur coat. Their blubber keeps them warm in the ocean, but sometimes they're too warm, and when they're too warm, when they've overheated, they can lose some
that's a great question.
Dorsal fin.
And then, of course, we're lucky enough as scientists that many of the dolphins' dorsal fins are distinctive. They have special markings and patterns that we can take photographs of and then track those individual dolphins through time, and that helps us learn many things about their biology.
Cool. I want to come back to Sherilyn's question, which is, what do dolphins sound like?
Okay, we will.
And maybe you could play a sound.
Shall I right now?
But I'll just answer a very quick question. Lele, I hope I have that name right, and Ava, who's 6 from Illinois, they both wanted to know how fast can dolphins swim.
Ooh,
and which is the fastest.
The fastest? I don't know.
Well, the Dall's porpoise can sprint really quickly to about 40 knots, nautical miles per hour. Mm-hmm. Common dolphins can sprint for a few seconds, 35 knots, 35 miles an hour, if they're trying to avoid a predator. They don't cruise at that speed. They cruise at 5 or 6 or 10, 10 miles an hour. Generally, the longer the animal, the faster its optimal, most efficient cruising speed. And so fin whales are really fast. Blue whales are really fast for cruising. But the smaller animals like the dolphins and the porpoises can sprint for a short period of time.
Little short bursts.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And that is one of the ways someone asked Sebastian from Ontario was wondering how these animals escape from predators, how dolphins escape predators. So one of the ways is their speed. They can band together and just get out of the area as quickly as possible. And the other key piece is their social structure, their families and friends, letting them know that danger is nearby. So having those close bonds with one another helps keep them safe. I'm trying to think of there are a number of different strategies, I guess, that they use to avoid predators. As Rob was mentioning earlier, this sound is one. So listening for killer whales, for example.
And going quiet when they think there's a predator in the area.
Mm-hmm. And that's another good one. Sometimes, when killer whales are around, the dolphins may do this sprinting behavior.
Okay.
If the killer whales are in active pursuit, but on other occasions the dolphins may just be very quiet and kind of gently surface through the water. Yeah.
Cool. You're gonna play the sound?
Oh yes, and so someone was wondering what they sound like. So here's a clip from Pacific white-sided dolphins. Let's see. I'll have to go cue it up.
So Sebastian was also asking, what are the dolphins' main predator? Really, dolphins can be eaten by sharks or killer whales. Those are the main ones.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep. That click, 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 click is their echolocation.
And then you can also hear some more chattery calls. Some dolphins make whistles and calls, and some dolphins are able to make those sounds at the same time, make echolocation sounds and whistles simultaneously, which is a neat trick. So the echolocation is when a dolphin is, I think there was a question about that, wasn't there? Or maybe not. I think just what do we know about dolphin communication with other dolphins? So colleagues of ours at St. Andrews have done a lot of great work looking at dolphin communication, and people all over the world have. But one of the neat studies I thought is that when dolphins are echolocating, they can kind of step on each other's echolocation. So if they're in smaller groups, they tend to kind of eavesdrop on one another rather than create more echoes, which would confuse the images coming back to them. And the other neat thing, I think, is that they have signature whistles that are essentially their name, or they're unique anyway to each individual dolphin. So when they encounter another individual, they may vocalize their signature whistle, their special to them sound.
Yeah.
I think that's...
So to recap, echolocation is the sound that a dolphin makes to sense its environment. It produces a sound. Think of blowing up a balloon and then holding it by the neck and letting the air escape. The dolphin generates the sound in its lungs, passes it through something called the monkey lips, which is a valve in the blowhole. And then, it's easier to see, I guess, on this stuffed killer whale, which is the world's biggest dolphin. It produces that sound, and it focuses it through the melon. And who was it?
I know. It's hard to remember.
Ashley
Great question.
was asking, what exactly is the melon?
Okay. Okay.
How and why does it change its shape?
That's a really
It's a really great question. Sound doesn't transmit very well from bone to water, but it does transmit from bone to oil to water. And so the melon is an organ shaped kind of like half of a cantaloupe stuck on your forehead. And that has very similar acoustic physical properties to the sea around it. And so it produces the sound through the sinuses, just like we have, passes it through the monkey lips in the blowhole, and it can generate either a call or a click.
It's kind of like when you let air out of a balloon, right?
Yeah.
Like,
isn't that what I said?
oh, maybe
Letting
you did.
air.
Sorry.
Yeah. And so it can use the melon then to focus it, and it can move its head side to side to focus the echolocation beam. Mm-hmm. It goes out and it bounces off the object, whether it's a fish or the rock wall, and it comes back. And do they have ears? Well, they do, but they don't actually use their ears for hearing. The sound actually comes back and they hear it through their lower jaw, which is also filled with oil. And that lower jaw is filled with oil, and it has a plug, almost like a cord, like a power cord.
Like a headphone.
That directs to the ear bone and makes the three bones wobble,
Jiggle.
just like the three bones in our inner ear.
Yeah.
So that's what the melon is, and that's how it changes. It reaches its extreme in the sperm whale, where the melon can take up a third of the whale's body length. It's also extreme in the beluga because they can actually manipulate the shape of their melon and use it to focus sound, or the way that we would focus light from a flashlight. It's pretty cool.
It is. I think we might have a few animations on our website. Do we still have those
Sure.
up there? Well, we'll make sure that we do.
Yeah.
We have some videos with animations of what this kind of might look like with a killer whale.
So we might actually have a whole session on sound, but
Yeah.
for right now, since a lot of people are asking, the sounds of the river of these dolphins, and the porpoise in particular, are so high frequency that we can't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
We struggle to hear above 20 kilohertz. Mm-hmm. But if you pass me the hydrophone, this hydrophone is an underwater microphone, and this is what we use. It's just a microphone. This is the microphone part.
And there are
and
many
it's
different kinds.
covered in like a waterproof rubber, and you can put this in the water, attached to an amplifier or a speaker or a recorder, and then we can hear the sounds up to about 20 kilohertz. For sounds that are above that, we sometimes use something that is designed to detect really, really high frequency sounds that porpoise make. These are called sea pods, and they're a porpoise detector, and they just sit in the ocean passively listening for a sound, and if they hear a click, 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 click that's high enough in frequency, it flips the switch and it makes a record of that time.
And saves it just
on a text file, just like a bat detector. If you can't hear bats, but you can buy a bat detector for your backyard, and you can listen, and it shuts off, flickers a light, or it may slow down the speed so that you can hear bats are clicking, and you know that bats are around. Same thing with this. We also use sound to help the dolphins, because dolphins are acoustic animals and sound is as important to them as vision is to us. One thing that we can do is use sound as a tool. This is called a banana pinger. And when you're in a truck or you're in a parking lot and you hear a truck backing up and it goes beep, 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 you can put that backup device in a waterproof housing and stick this banana pinger onto a fishing net and let the dolphins know that there's a fishing net nearby.
It's just like a little alarm system.
And it alerts them so that they know that there is a net nearby, and they, we hope, avoid it. And we've tried this on Dall's porpoise and Pacific white-sided dolphins, and we do similar work on seals and sea lions.
But there are so many different species of dolphins, and they maybe have different hearing abilities, different behaviors, and different responses to something like this. So it's a bit tricky to find the right one that's going to provide an alert to one species. So that's some of our work that we're doing now with Pacific white-sided dolphins. Last summer, they seemed to think this was really interesting and not very, rather than staying away from it. So we have to go back to the drawing board with our colleagues on that.
And as soon as the
many
strong
are
germ
effective.
days are over,
Yes.
we will be out on our boat testing more of these. Any
but-
last questions about this? So a few people have asked about the painting exercise. Don't worry if you don't have watercolor paints.
No.
It's not like,
Could use.
you know, whatever. I'm sure you've got food coloring in your house. You've got another kind of paint. Don't worry
Or
if you don't
draw.
have the right watercolor paper. Grab a cardboard box or grab paint on a t-shirt with your parents' permission. You know, whatever works for your family. If you don't have paintbrushes, try using a Q-tip. And that is not, today is Thursday. That is a week from today, Thursday the 16th. And I think that's a really big one. Are there any dolphins that are going extinct? Taylor from California. Yes, I mean, there are Maui's dolphins in New Zealand,
right.
which are really endangered.
So someone was asking, like, I think maybe it was here, what is the rarest dolphin?
I'd say for a
They
dolphin,
Probably, I'll find out who asked that. But,
yeah, I'd say the Maui dolphin, which is a subspecies of Hector's dolphin in New Zealand. That's a really critically endangered dolphin
right,
species. For porpoise, the vaquita in Mexico is the most critically endangered porpoise, but there are also finless porpoise populations that are critically endangered. Those also live in freshwater and are found throughout Southeast Asia.
yeah.
And of course, if you count killer whales as the world's biggest dolphin, I'd say it's southern resident killer whales that we study.
That
There are only
population.
72 in the population. That's among the rarest of all the dolphins on the planet.
Yeah. And someone was wondering, Caroline's 11-year-old daughter was wondering what the biggest climate change threat
Great question.
is to dolphins. And I think one is a shift in their distribution. So there's some evidence that this is happening with Pacific white-sided dolphins, that they're pretty linked to ocean temperature, the water temperature. So they may move to different latitudes,
Yep.
and that might have implications for what kind of food they eat. If
Yep.
they're used to eating a particular kind of food, and they shift and move somewhere else,
Yep.
that kind of food may not be available to them anymore, and it might be tricky to find something else for them. Do you have other things
Yeah.
to add?
I mean, they're not.
Belugas. I guess,
Yeah,
are
I was going to
whales
say they're
that-
not dolphins, but the St. Lawrence population of belugas that we study with our colleagues at Fisheries and Oceans, Quebec. Oh, Renato, no, we did not forget vaquita dolphins. It's just that vaquita are porpoise. So vaquita are the most endangered
Porpoise, for sure.
Maui's are the most endangered dolphin.
Vaquita are in Mexico.
But
either.
vaquita, which means little cow, Vaquita in Mexico, vaquita, is the most endangered porpoise.
And
We were saying climate change, St. Lawrence belugas in Quebec. We have done a study with our colleagues at Fisheries and Oceans Canada, and we found that the projected impacts of climate change are going to be more important to that population than the total impact of noise and overfishing and contaminants put together.
yeah.
So some species are going to be hit really, really hard by climate change. And in our work with Antarctic minke whales, we're finding that they are certainly losing their ice habitat down at the ice edge in the Antarctic.
People are. There were some questions here as well about what do they eat. Sebastian from Ontario was interested in that, and Caroline's daughter again was interested in what they eat. So they eat a variety of fish and squid, small schooling fish.
Yep.
In particular, the dolphins are effective at working together as a team to corral fish, and then they can easily swim through a big group of herring. I think we have a video of that as well. I'm not sure if it's up at the moment, but we can try and put that up. But all over the world, dolphins use very different strategies to corral fish, and I don't
And
know
some
if
of the
they
coastal
have,
species will hunt things on the bottom, crayfish, shrimp.
and sponge carrying dolphins use. There are some really neat dolphins in
Yeah.
that use tools like sponges to get
So Avery
their
and
prey
Graham
out of the
in
seafloor.
Thompson, North Dakota. Avery, who's 7, and Graham, who's 6, were both asking that.
Okay.
And so,
I mean, that speaks also
and that
back.
relates to Cadence's question. Cadence is 9 and was asking, does the shape of the bottlenose dolphin's nose help them sense anything? It may not help them sense anything, although the melon sure does. I don't know where the little dolphin went.
Because
Here.
Pacific white-sided dolphins don't have very long noses,
But
but
that little
bottlenose
beak
dolphins do.
can be used to kind of dig in the sand a little bit. And Aaron was saying some groups have figured out how to put a sponge over their nose to use that as a tool to protect their nose from getting bonked.
And yeah, some dolphins can scare prey up on the beach, and then they can temporarily beach themselves to capture the fish. They have evolved incredible approaches to getting fish.
And Penn from Houston wanted to know if they're eating fish, what does their poop look like?
Yeah.
Generally, it's a cloud. It's kind of
white.
liquidy, and it just kind of disperses.
Yeah.
If they're in a tank, in an aquarium, there are hard parts that come out, and it gets caught in the filter. So you could figure out what they're eating that way. But it's not very practical for us to go out in the field and scoop their poop like we can with killer whales, because it doesn't float. It tends to disperse in a cloud.
So
2 big questions.
okay. I don't know if we also have time to talk about.
Super quick though.
Okay.
How many dolphins does it take to be considered a pod?
Ooh, that's a good question.
As many as you got. You can have a couple of animals that swim together, and that's a pod.
Yeah.
You can have thousands of dolphins in the Pacific white-sided dolphin populations that Aaron studies. And generally, we tend to use the term school if we don't know if they just all happen to be at the same time in the same place. And we tend to use the term pod if we know that they have chosen to live together, if they're actually social.
If we see them like year upon year hanging out with the same dolphins, you might be calling them a pod more than just a group generically. Yeah.
Caroline's daughter, who's 11, was asking, are the dolphins in our Facebook picture dusky dolphins or Pacific white-sided?
They're Pacific white-sided dolphins.
Great question.
Pacific white-sided dolphins and dusky dolphins look a lot alike, and they're related. They're in the same genus, which is currently Lagonorhynchus, but we think that they are actually in a different genus called Sagmattius. We recently wrote a paper on that. But yeah, they look very similar.
I like Sophia's questions. She's
Okay.
7. She wants to know, are dolphins predator or prey?
They are both.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's cool.
They are predators to fish, and we know that killer whales and sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are
So
predators
in
for dolphins.
Erin's grant from National Geographic, she studies the Pacific white-sided dolphins going up the fjords and inlets of British Columbia to catch herring. And so if you ask a herring, a dolphin is a predator. But if you ask a killer whale, the dolphin is prey.
Yeah.
And Erin is trying to figure out, how do these dolphins catch herring without getting eaten by the killer whales or orcas?
Yeah. It's a tough
That's
job.
a great question.
It's
So you
tough
can
job
be
for
both a
dolphins.
predator and
And
prey.
we'll talk about that in a few sessions
Yeah.
time. We'll do a special session on.
She also wants to know, are dolphins nocturnal? Most of them are not, but there is a group of spinner dolphins in Hawaii that rest during the day and go out and feed at night. So those are nocturnal. And
Because their prey is available, their prey comes up, and from the seafloor, and so that it's a better time for them to find their prey. So they hang out in bays during the day to avoid predation, and then go out at night to hunt.
And for those of you asking how long dolphins can live, it's very few species have studied, that's been studied in very few species. But the ones that are well studied can live 40, 50 years.
And we're
But I gotta ask
time
Hope's
again.
question because it was so great. Hope, who's 8 years old, wants to know, do dolphins have allergies?
That's a great question.
I have never, ever asked that question.
Or thought about it?
I've never thought of it. And so people are pointing out that some other species don't live quite as long, that
Yes.
bottlenose dolphins may only live 20 years. That's absolutely right. But killer whales can live 80, and
Yeah.
so it's hard
It
to
depends
generalize for a
which
whole
species.
family.
There are over
But-
50 species of dolphins. So.
Right. But let's think about Hope's great question. Do dolphins have...
If they accidentally eat a salmon or some kind of fish that they're not used to eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one has ever documented allergies in wild dolphins. But in a captive study, someone did see effectively a skin rash on a bottlenose dolphin, and they said it must be dermatitis, which is inflammation of the skin. And they said this form of dermatitis is consistent with an allergy. They didn't know what it was allergic to, but they did know that it was an allergic reaction that was seen on the skin.
Pretty neat. They're a lot like us in many ways.
Yeah, Claudette, we're going to have another session on sound in the ocean
I think Monday
Monday.
is
But
going to be sound.
dolphins
in the ocean.
can certainly hear. At least the killer whales can hear each other tens of miles away. Groups of Pacific white-sided dolphins, we've seen them react to other dolphins, over the scale of certainly kilometers.
Yeah.
5 to 10 kilometers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's it, man. That's a lot. We covered
I mean,
a lot.
the one thing we didn't cover is the whole tuna dolphin situation, and I don't know if we have time to go into that. But maybe if you have like the tweetable version.
The tweetable
because
version.
I think it's the way that you talk about it, I think is a really inspiring.
Okay. Back in the day,
But you have to be fast.
I'll be
Rob.
super
You gotta
fast.
be
So
fast.
dolphins are going out in the middle of the eastern tropical Pacific to eat tuna. And this is years
Long
ago
ago.
before we were born, and we're old. And so the dolphins are eating tuna. Lots and lots of dolphins are together. And the fishermen note that, if I set my net here, I will catch a lot of tuna.
Because the
And
dolphins are helping find it and corral it. Yeah.
So they used to catch their nets, set their nets around the dolphins, and the dolphins would get trapped in the fishing nets. And hundreds of thousands of dolphins a year were dying.
Yeah.
This
It's a
was
real
back
problem.
in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And then school kids put on so much pressure when they heard about this. They told their parents, don't put tuna fish sandwiches in my lunch. I'm not going to eat it because I want to save the dolphins. And as soon as parents stopped buying the tuna, the fishing industry adapted and said, oh, wait a minute, we can find a way to catch tuna that doesn't harm animals. And so they figured out a number of ways to not set their nets on the dolphins themselves, how to make sure that dolphins were released from the net if they got caught in accidentally, to put pingers on the net so that the dolphins know that
Things
there's
like
a net
this.
there.
We're developed.
And the amount of dolphin bycatch dropped 90, 95, 99%. And it's not completely, it's not like a dolphin will never die anymore, but it's so much safer that we now put the logo on the tuna that says dolphin safe tuna. And if you buy that tuna, you know that it was fished using the methods that are unlikely to harm
And so-
dolphins.
So children everywhere inspired scientists and the fishing community to work together to find solutions. And I think that that's a great message, that you do have a powerful voice, and the more you know about what's going on in the ocean and the animals that are there and what they need, you can make a difference. And we have laws now still from that era that influence what we do today in terms of research and protection for whales and dolphins.
So I think that's a really powerful story to end on, that kids really made a huge difference. When kids spoke up and demanded conservation, it made a real difference. It changed the way that adults fished. It changed the way that adults managed fisheries. and it changed the way that parents shopped for food for their kids, and it
Yeah.
had a huge lasting change. So way to go, kids, for insisting on dolphin safe tuna. And I think we can do the same kind of thing with trying to keep the whale's habitat clean and quiet and full of fish, which is what we're trying to do at Oceans Initiative.
And whatever is important to you. If some of these discussions have made you think about something, conservation issue, yeah, go for it.
So, thank you very much for your help. Thank you for telling other families how to connect through Instagram Live or Facebook Live.
Yes.
Please don't forget to go to our website and check out our Instagram post for a beautiful image of a painting by Sophia Trin. We'll tag her so you know to follow her too. And she has offered to donate one of her original, one-of-a-kind, hard-to-get watercolor paintings of a whale
Really nice.
to people, to one person who makes a donation to Oceans Initiative in the next week. Whether you're donating or not, forget about it. This time, first of all, Monday we'll talk about ocean noise and how important sound is to killer whales, orcas. So Monday is Orca Day. And then a week from today, Thursday, will be a special guest, Sophia Trin, who's going to teach us all, us and Clara and all of you, how to paint a killer whale or orca,
Yes.
Ideally with watercolor paints, but
Because art is an amazing way to communicate conservation and inspire folks, and it's fun.
and you'll have a great souvenir
Yeah.
of your day at marine biology camp. So spread the word.
Have an actual tangible activity to do. This
Thank
is
you
exciting.
so much for joining our marine
Yes.
biology camp. Please sign up for our
Thank you.
newsletter on our website, oceansinitiative.org.
Thank you for all of your support and all of your great comments and questions, and we're really, really inspired by all of you.
Please
Thank
keep the
you.
questions coming, and please keep sending those beautiful kids' drawings to team@oceansinitiative.org.
And hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And we will see you on Monday. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stay safe and healthy.
Wash your hands.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.